one of the decisions that we made in recent years surrounded an event called the Living Nativity at our church. This was a 2-day event that had grown from one scene to over 10. People would come from miles around to come and see people dressed up in first century attire with live animals. Families would make this an annual event they would plan on. This was a great event. This was fun. My family participated. We had a lot of fun with it. And we saw over 2,000 people coming to this event every year. That's great. If what you're after is a bigger crowd, this event was a roaring success. If what you're after is an event people get excited about and look forward to, this event was fantastic. But is that the goal? What we began to do as a board is ask the question, is this helping us accomplish the mission that we have of connecting people who are far from God with their Heavenly Father? As we asked that question, all of us began to struggle with this. This was a significant investment of time and of money and of volunteer hours over months. Is this the best use of all of those things, of the resources that we're entrusted with and supposed to manage effectively? For months, we wrestled with this around the board table. For months, we wrestled with the emotional connection we had with an event that had spanned over a decade here. Could we possibly shut down an event that so many people loved and felt strongly about? Could we rationalize it not really accomplishing the main thing we're trying to do? We did for a long time. But months after we began having the conversation, we began to get honest. And as we began to disconnect emotionally from the decision and look at the data, we began to see a picture emerge that this was not the best use of our resources. This is not the best use of the volunteer hours that are given to us to accomplish what we're trying to do, the main thing, the main mission. And so, after a lot of discussion, we made a hard decision to shut it down. We're not going to do it anymore. We communicated that, but we were surprised. We were surprised by the pushback that we got from the people in the church who love this program, who weren't privy to all those months and months of conversations and discussions where we wrestled through disconnecting the emotion from the data. I'm a data nerd. I like data. I think data speaks loudly. But when we don't take into account the emotional nature of the decisions that we make as a board, there are times when we're going to find that that's not effective leadership. And so we did. We made what we believe to be a courageous decision for the good of the organization, for the good of the mission, but we didn't communicate it as effectively and as intentionally as we should have and could have. When we went through Pillar 1, we began to talk about that. We began to talk about communication and the transparency that we're trying to achieve in explaining why we make decisions in a certain way, why we choose to do and not do certain things. And that created an aha moment for us because we realized that though we had the best of intentions in what we said and how we said it when we communicated why, we didn't effectively communicate why. And we know that because of the feedback we were getting inside the organization. We began to understand people don't understand the why. They don't understand it yet. That's on us as leaders. We learned we need to be more effective and intentional in explaining why we make the decisions we make.